Hello, we are live and just try with the filters, which is something I have not noticed before. It's all grainy. Okay, we'll leave off the filters. They've taken the masks off me. I say that. Hold on, what's this? What is this? I thought they took the masks off me, but I've just seen a little mask. Oh, they haven't taken the masks off me. The masks are back. I think the masks are back. I'm going to be a samurai in a minute. Hello, welcome to Facebook Live. If you've got any questions and you want answers, then I think you can post live. So please do. I'm not saying that I haven't got many questions that have been asked in the week to answer to get through. I'm not saying that because I have had a couple. Not a huge number, I'll be honest. So if you have got anything, there will be a bit of filling involved in this broadcast. But if you do have anything that you can think of, then chip in because be gratefully received. But anyway, I have genuinely had a couple of questions, but only a couple. But I'll drag it out. I'll drag it out. Emanuela, I don't know if Manuela's out there. You've been asking about implants. I think the reason I haven't got as many questions this week is because Laura's been ill. I think that's what it is, that Laura's been ill. So get well soon, Laura. Nevertheless, she has been checking her emails, but anyway, that's what I'm telling myself. So, Emanuela, you were asking about implants, silicone implants. What implants do I use? Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I've got to put my helmet on to answer this question because that is a big question. So I've really now, what implants do I use? I am not limited by any implant manufacturer. So if you come to the clinic and you have a view on implants, sorry, let's get rid of that now. I don't know, there's a bit of a lag. Hey, Michelle, you got a question? I just got to find out how to read your question. Do you have to keep your scar? Is that all? Is that? It says ... Oh man. Do you have to keep your scar? Is that all your question says? Do you have to keep your scar? Can you comment? So, do you have to keep your scar? Is that, Michelle, if there's more to your question than do you have to keep your scar, can you write another comment with that on it? Because all I can see is do you have to keep your scar ... which implies there's more to that question than I can see, but I'm not. Do you have to keep your scar? Well, if that's the question, do you have to keep your scar? Then yes, you do have to keep your scar. Sorry, I take my helmet off. I can't get it off. Okay. Yeah, you have to keep your scar. If you've got a scar, then you have to keep your scar, and the scar is permanent. The scar does fade, but you have to keep it. I'm sorry, I've asked for a live Q&A and I can't read the questions. I'll get back to that. But Emanuela, if you're out there, I was just going to about your implant question. I do use. I'm sorry, I can't take my helmet. Oh, yeah, taking it off. I do use any implants you like. So if you come to the clinic and you've got a view about implants, and the hospital can get them, I've used most of the major implant manufacturers, so I'm happy to use any implants. I do have a preference, if you like, in that I do use Nagor silicone implants and Polytech polyurethane implants. Those are the makes that I tend to use and I'm familiar with, and I like the ranges, and I know what dimensions the implants are. So to be totally and brutally honest with you, the reason I use those implants is because I'm familiar with them. And there are a few major manufacturers of implants: Nagor, Allergan, Mentor. They're big companies. I've used them all. They're all very good. I've met with representatives of all the companies, and they're all very helpful. And I sometimes people will say, "Oh, these are the best implants, and you should use these." To be honest with you, I don't think any of them are particularly better than the other, and and I don't think any are particularly better than the other. I think they're all very good. There are different ranges with the implants. We had this with the PIP because everyone was up in arms after the PIP scandal that they had paid top dollar for their surgery. They'd paid £5,000 for their surgery. They thought they were getting the best implants. They were getting the PIP implants. There are different ranges of implants. There are cheap implants and expensive implants, if you like. There's sort of a premium range and a cheaper range, and we all knew the PIP ones were cheap ones. We didn't know they were, but the wrong type of silicone they were using. But there are a cheap range, for instance, Allergan to a cheaper range called CUI, which has got a single shell, as opposed to their premium range, which is called Natrel, which has got a double shell. The Trel implants have got a lifetime warranty. CUI implants got a 10-year warranty. So there's differences in the warranty. So there are some companies which do a different range, a budget range, if you like, and a premium range. CUI are still good implants. The numbers between them are a bit more limited, so there are some differences. I only use the premium ones, so I only use Natrel or Mentor, Nagor. They've all got double shells. They've all got lifetime warranties. The warranties are slightly different between them, so we can talk about that. But if you've got a view, Emanuela, about a certain, I know you're interested in silicone implants, a certain type of silicone implants, we can certainly discuss it. I can certainly give you paperwork about the different warranties, or you can get it. Everything's available these days out there, and I'd be very happy to use any of the major manufacturers of implants. If you leave it up to me, I'll use Nagor because that's the range that I'm familiar with, but I do think they're all very good these days. Michelle, I can see that you've written there, "You're so funny, Jonathan." Was there more to your question, though, about the scar? You said, do you have to... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I can scroll. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? Do you have to keep your scar out of the sun forever? Hey, there it is. Out of the sun forever. Oh, we've got two. You're so funny. Got it. Okay, yeah, good, thank you. No, Michelle, you don't have to keep your scar out of the sun forever. You have to keep your scar out of the sun while it's red and obvious, and I normally say that's the first 3 to 6 months. After about 3 months, it starts to fade. But if it's red and active, normally what happens, the scar looks okay at a week. At about a month or 2 months, the scar looks much more red and firm. It feels much more firm and hard, and that's the activity in the scar. It's called remodeling, which means that the scar tissue is becoming more organized and it's getting the strength into the scar, and it's quite active, and that's why it goes really quite red and unobvious, and you think, goodness me, this scar looks worse than it did at a week. And while it's red and obvious, you need to not get it in the sun. So if you do get it in the sun, if you do get a tan, then you can then you come home, you lose the tan, and you end up with a tan scar. The tan will stay in the scar. So just keep it out of the sun while it's red and obvious. Once it goes to skin color, which is after the first 3 to 6 months, then you can do what you want. You can get in the sun after that. That's fine. And but you should avoid the sun anyway. So, generally it's not good to get the sun. It's certainly not good to get sunburnt. So wear high protection sunblock, reapply it, and wide brim hats and things like that. But specifically with regards to the scar, once it's gone skin coloured, you can get it in the sun and you can do what you want. Treat it like normal skin once it's gone skin coloured. So yeah, don't worry about it forever. It's just while it's red. I haven't written anything down this week. So oh yes, that's right. I've had some questions about implants, size of implants, and it reminded me of there was an article my mother-in-law sent it to me. I think it was in the Times. I don't know when, about some Paris plastic surgeons saying that English people want big implants and they're much more subtle in Paris. And one thing that I often talk about with patients is the difference in shape and size. People always talk about the size of the implants, the size of the breasts, and sometimes it all works out. We do the sizes, they choose a size, then we look at the different profiles and the shapes, and they choose a shape, and it all matches. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people want a really big size. They want a big size of implant, but they want a natural shape. They want softness in the upper pole, and they want they want the shape to be right. And everyone's paranoid because friends have all told them that everyone wants to be bigger whenever they've had implants. They always want to be bigger, so they always think, oh, I want to, I don't want to be too small. They're paranoid about being too small, and they want to go bigger. If there's a balance between shape and size, shape is always the one to focus on. So always worry about shape. Or I say this, but everyone always worries about size. I always go on about it, and I always go on about the width and the profile being important and everything. And everyone wants about the size. Oh, well, can I not have the 350s because they're bigger than the 300s, and I don't want to be too small. Don't worry about the size. It is the shape that is really crucial, because you're going to have to live with this for the rest of your life, and it needs to look right, and it needs to look how you want it to look, and that is what the shape gives you. And you need to have a good shape to your breast, and obviously they will be bigger, but they may not be as big as maybe the sizes that you wanted, but it's better to get the shape right, to make them look good, to make you feel comfortable when you're out of clothes, than to get the size that you want, but you feel uncomfortable. The worst thing you can do, well, it's not the worst thing you can do, but a bad thing that you can do is to go too big. Going too big is a really bad thing, and usually if people have gone too big, they're unhappy. So if you do go too big, you're going to have unhappiness. Whereas if you go to the right size, I'm going to be serious now, because this is serious. So there's a lag on the mask. We'll have to time that. That was good timing. They've given me back the masks. I used them a lot a couple of weeks ago, and I thought they'd taken them off me, but they've given them back, so I'm very happy about that. It follows my face round, so that is good. So that's, I've got to be serious about this, because clearly I need to get a bit of I've lost a beard, so I've get a moustache. That's the way to get a bit of credibility around here. The shape is absolutely crucial. The size is not crucial. Obviously the size is important. Obviously your friends are always going to ask you what size they are, but it's you've got to be comfortable and go with the shape, not the size. That is the important thing. That is the important thing to do. And that thing about the people in Paris saying everyone in Britain wants bigger implants and big round ones, and people in Paris want subtle ones, and people in England are going over to France to have them. I believe that actually that's not strictly true, and I think the media portrays the image of breast implants as being big round implants, because that's all anyone sees in the media, because the media is very much celebrity, this and that. But the reality of life, and the reality of most plastic surgeons, well, I suppose I can't talk about most plastic surgeons. The reality of me, anyway, is that I don't put a lot of big implants in. That's a fact. I don't put really big, huge implants in. You see people in the clinic, they haven't got big implants. They haven't got what people think that's what everyone wants. They don't. Most people want something that's natural, that's in fitting with their frame. And I won't put an implant in that's too wide, that's too big for your frame, just because I can't make it look good. And there are people out there that do, and they can make it look how they how the patient wants, so they can get happy patients, and that's fine. But that's not my practice, and I think that you'll find a lot of people haven't got that practice. But that's not a good media story. So I think it's not strictly true that breast implants equals big implants, and these people who say, oh, I can tell when someone's had implants, and they pride themselves. And people say to me when I walk down the street, or, you know, when I see a photograph, can I tell if someone's had implants? In fact, people show me photographs and say, what implants are they? What implants has this person got? And I'm always like, well, I don't even know if they've got implants. I can't tell if they've got implants. They might not have implants. And if they have got implants, I don't know. I have to see the before and after before you can even begin to make a judgment on it. And the whole point of doing good surgery is that you don't want to have a look that looks like you've got implants. That's the whole point. And so you want people. I can't tell if you've done it right or if you've done it well. You can't tell if someone's had implants. That's the idea. You don't want to necessarily be able to tell whether someone's had implants in. Most people actually want a look that looks normal and they feel comfortable with, and they can walk around with their top off. Well, actually, no, sorry, they may not want to walk around with their top, but, you know, have a shower, you know, live with their body, basically. I mean, it's fine to walk around with the top off, but you don't, you know, live with their body and feel comfortable and not feel out of proportion. And in clothes is a different story. You can actually enhance what you've got in clothes and what have you, but you need to absolutely feel comfortable out of clothes with the shape of your body, and that's the most important thing. I think I've made that clear. I'll have to watch that back and see what I've actually said there. But I know what I wanted to say anyway, so I hope that came out. And so yeah, hello from Naples. We got Naples on. We got international. International reputation is obviously you know, out there. Buenas noches. It's not Naples, is it? Sorry, my father never really spoke to us when we were little. Well, he did speak to us, but not in Italian. So he never really got into Italian. And whenever we go over to Italy, we always our relatives always speak to us in English. So unfortunately my Italian is weak, should we say, weak. Fortunately, everyone there speaks much better English than we speak Italian. So whenever we go over there, we're fine. Rambling a bit here. I did. So if anyone, Michelle, I tell you what, Michelle, I am going to give you a massive thumbs up for those questions, because that was awesome. I'm sorry I got it a bit. How did Lisa know that you said out of the sun forever? Oh, because she could see the ... Okay. And I am checking out. You know, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I know you're all got busy nights, and I know you got a lot on. I'm very grateful to everyone for checking in. I'm checking in next week, and I'll tell you something. If you've got any questions, email Laura. Do it, Facebook it. Laura's back tomorrow, so she's back off being ill. She's not too bad. She's just got a cold. I've been speaking to her the last couple of days, so don't she's fine. Yeah, email away, ask away, and if they give me the masks, I'm going to try that one with it. It looks like it's got fruit on the head. I'm going to try that one next time. And Lisa's coming. Oh God, Lisa's coming with a question. But you know what? I've got here. I had a tummy tuck 19 weeks ago with with Monslift, right? Yeah. Lisa, you're a godsend. You've asked a question. I've had a tummy tuck 19 weeks with SLI ... Monslift. Awesome, Lisa. How are you getting on? The problem with Facebook Live, I don't know if anyone else there has used it, but if you have, can you help me? Because the only way you can work out what to do on it is when you're live. You can't practice, you know, all these masks and stuff and the questions coming up. You can't practice. So I can see with Sly. I'm going to thumbs that up, but I can just see. So Lisa, you've had a tummy tuck 19 weeks ago. That's not that long ago. So you're probably still going to be feeling a bit fragile, I guess. Is there a specific query? Raren Z is a 19 week. What's 19 weeks then? It's quite a while ago. Um, so type away. I've got a tummy tuck 19 weeks ago with SLI dot dot dot. Then I've got Mons lift. I can't see any more questions related to that. There's clearly a question on your mind, unless you are just posting that you had a tummy tuck 19 weeks ago, in which case, good on you. And I'm sure I hope that's been beneficial to you, and I hope everything's fine. A slight Here we go. Aha, slight Did I do it? Did I do it? If I did it, come and see me in the clinic. I don't think. No, it's fine. You know what, Lisa? One of the things you'll notice when you have plastic surgery is that we always mark everyone pre-op. We always have an indelible marker when you mark on pre-op. Everyone worries that it's an indelible marker. When I stand up, it's not. But at the top there's the skin wash off, so it's never permanent. So we always mark everyone pre-op, and the reason we mark everyone pre-op is because things are totally different when you're erect, when you're standing up, compared to when you're lying down. When you're on an operating table and you're lying flat on your back with your arms out, your tummy, your breasts are totally different. They look totally different to how they look standing up. So yeah, everything. Well, not everything, but lots of things look fine when you're lying down. But things are a different story when you stand up. Because gravity and what have you. So that's no good. If it's okay lying down, then it's always okay lying down. Never looks too bad. But when you stand up, it's not. So what are we talking, Lisa? Are we talking lax skin? If you're my patient, come back and see me. Give us a ring. I don't think you are. You someone? If you're not my patient, go back and see your surgeon. 19 weeks. Let me just work that out. So 4 weeks is a month. So that's it's a few months, isn't it? Yeah, it's a few months. So that's I normally say things start to settle around 3 months, but start to settle. So things are starting to settle now. It can take time. I mean, it'd be something to have a look at. If you Wow, well done. Stone, that's a big weight loss. So things should be starting to settle. If you, so one thing I would say, no, you didn't, but do it, but thank you. Okay, that's good. No, I just want to know in case, because I thought, well, if it's me, by all means come. What I would say is, yeah, always talk to your surgeon because they're the best bet, what they've done and all that sort of stuff. But I think, yeah, things should be starting to settle now. But it is quite a long time, 19 weeks, isn't it? So I would hope that, you'll be seeing some improvements by now. The worry is that there might still be some lax skin. When you do a tummy tuck, when you do any surgery, you're tightening skin. And you've got to be a bit careful because obviously if you tighten the skin too much, if you take away too much, you can get the wounds breaking down. And get a lot of problems, and you can get big problems with tummy tucks. And you lost 7 stone, you lost a huge amount of weight, so I suspect you have quite a lot of skin there. So it might be that maybe they've gone the other way and they haven't taken enough skin, so they've been worried about taking too much skin and causing you wound healing problems, but maybe they've not taken enough skin and giving you still some skin laxity there. So that might be why when you stand up you can feel that skin laxity. So it may be that you'll need a bit of a revision, a bit of a tightening. I don't want to speak for people because it's totally up to them, whoever did it. But and that's sometimes the case. We all need to do revisions sometimes, and that's fine. And you're trying to make everything perfect every single time, but usually it's not perfect. You might do too much, you might do too little. To be honest with you, it's better to do too little than to do too much. So. Because if you do too much and it's too tight and wound breaks down, the scar stretches and all sorts of bad things happen. So doing too little and giving you a bit of laxity, it's not great, but you might have to go back and maybe having a bit more skin removed. I don't know, maybe a bit of liposuction if there's a bit of a redundant fattiness there. But it might mean a revision. I don't even consider a revision till around 3 months, so I wouldn't even consider it. But you're past that now. And then ideally 6 to 12 months really for revision. But the other thing you've got to check on is the revision policy of the surgeon. Sometimes, and certainly in one of the hospitals I work in, they've got a 6-month policy, one they've got 12-month policy. So you've got to be careful that you don't sort of go past your policy. I think the main thing is as long as you flag it up within that time, and just say, look, because usually I always tell people to wait for it to settle. You can't go wrong waiting for things to settle, because if they're going to settle, fine. The only thing about waiting for things to settle is we don't want you to be unhappy for many months if we could have fixed it sooner. So if it's an obvious problem, I would rather go back in and do a revision sooner, because then I've got a happy patient quicker, because we don't want happy patients. If it's something that's not that bad, and certainly if it's getting better, if the trend is things are starting to improve, there's absolutely no harm in leaving it to see how it settles, letting the scar mature. It sounds a bit perverse that you let the scar mature before you give you another scar if you're going to sort of revise it or something, but that is definitely the way to do it. Let that scar mature, let it soften, because then the surgery becomes a lot easier if you do need to do a revision. So minimum 3 months. I know you're past that now, so 6 months is good, 12 months even better, as long as your revision policy will be holding you. You don't want to wait till 13 months and then to say, oh, we only got a 12-month revision policy and can't do it or something. It's normally not the surgeon who does that, it's the hospitals who do that, in my experience. Don't want to be, but yeah, you want to make sure you're within your revision policy, but talk to your surgeon is the answer, and yeah, it's always fine when you lie down. So it's the whole point is it's supposed to look all right when you stand up. But well done. And I hope everything healed up well and everything. But maybe they haven't taken it so tight. But thanks for asking the question. It's good to get a question in there. Yep. And if that's great. Live Q&A question. That's what it's all about. Now I don't know how many of these I've done, but that's a good bit of live. That's 2 Q&As during the broadcast. That's awesome. So I'm very happy about that. And so thank you very much for answering that question, Lisa. Good luck with that. Let me know how you get on. If you want to ask me any questions or anything, you can always drop me a line on Facebook. I'm very happy to sort of comment. Obviously, it's not my case, but better off going to the surgeon. But if you have any questions, I don't mind putting my oar in. Thanks, Michelle, for your question about your scar. Hope you're well. And I'm going to leave you to your respective households, and I'm going to check out. And thank you very much for your questions. Thank you, Facebook, for giving me back the masks. I hope I haven't used them too much. I hope you don't take them off me next week, because I want to use that one with a fruit bowl on the head or whatever it is. And I did like the samurai robot one at the beginning, and I'm checking right out now, although I've lost the finish button, which isn't here. You see what I mean? Facebook Live, you can't practice it. So I'm going to check out right now, checking out by pressing the finish button, which is there. Yeah, I found it. Okay, check out, because I've got the mask out of the way, and see you next week, 7 p.m, Tuesday. Ask questions on Facebook by Laura, or get in live just like Lisa and Michelle have tonight. That could be you next week.